Hi guys, my name is Nonima Tikela. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are talking about Mnisi objecting to Baloyi and how Baloyi responded to that objection after the saga about the 2007 opening of the Capitec Bank by Mmusi Sibiya, which Mmusi Sibiya says, the first account I had it in 2008 with Standard Bank, not with Capitec. Yes, I do have a Capitec account, but not with opened in 2007. So this is what happens. Let's break that down because wow. I was so left flabbergasted by Baloyi's response to the entire situation. I think that a very important moment in this trial because wow. Advocate Baloyi's response to Mnisi's objection, saying the deity is neither here nor there, actually reveals a deep legal and logical flaw in the state's reasoning. Let's unpack what that really means and what it exposes about Baloyi's strategy. Let's get into that because wow. Firstly, what Baloyi's response means in legal terms. When Baloyi says the date issue is neither here nor there, he is effectively dismissing context, which is one of the most critical elements of evidence in any trial. Dates matter because they establish timeline relevance and credibility. If a bank account didn't exist at the time an alleged transaction took place, then those records cannot be valid evidence for that period. By ignoring the dates, Baloyi is trying to shift focus away from the authenticity of the evidence and keep the discussion only on the existence of the account, which is tactical distraction. In simple terms, what is this? Baloyi is saying, forget when the account was opened, but just look at what happened in it. And that's exactly what he said. He said, no, yes, he says it was not opened in 2007. The fact of the matter is that he says he does have an account at Capitec. That's what's important. And we are going to look in 2014. Huh? But that logic doesn't hold up in court because when something happened, often determines whether it's even relevant or real. The second thing, why is this problematic? Baloyi's stance is problematic for a few reasons. Ne? One, it shows he may be relying on weak or mismatched evidence, possibly with the wrong dates or fabricated statements. It undermines the chain of custody of the evidence, a key part of proving authenticity. It suggests Baloyi is more focused on forcing an admission than on maintaining evidential integrity. Legally, this approach can backfire because the defense can argue procedural unfairness. The state uses evidence it can't authenticate. It can weaken the overall case by showing that the prosecution is willing to overlook factual inconsistencies to sustain its narrative. Thirdly, what it says about Baloyi's strategy. This kind of argument is often used when the prosecutor knows the evidence is shaky or he wants to divert the courtroom from technical weaknesses like incorrect dates or unverifiable documents. It's a classic redirection tactic, focus the accused's supposed admission rather than the accuracy of the record itself. In short, Baloyi is trying to win the impression of the truth, not necessarily prove the fact of the truth. That's what Baloyi is doing. Number 4, what it means for Judge Mokgoatlheng's role. If the judge allows this kind of reasoning, it sets a dangerous precedent. It means the court is saying, even if evidence doesn't line up properly, we will still let it stand. That's risky because it erodes fairness, opens the door for appeal, and makes the trial look biased towards the state. The judge should ideally have sustained Mnisi's objection and demanded proper verification of the account dates before allowing any cross-examination on those records. In an ideal court, that's what was supposed to happen. But this is Judge Ratta's courtroom, and Judge Ratta does as he pleases. And even if it means compromising himself, that's what Judge Ratta is doing. So what does neither here nor there response really means? The aspect of legal meaning is that he is dismissing a critical element of evidence, timeline, which is determines authenticity. Tactical meaning, that's the second aspect. He's deflecting attention from a weakness in the state case. The third aspect, professional implication, shows disregard for precision and fairness in prosecution. The fourth aspect, impact on trial, weakness in the state credibility strengthens defense argument on unfairness and unreliable evidence, which is exactly what Baloyi is doing on this instance. Guys, I cannot believe that the situation of Baloyi is coming from bad to worse. It keeps worsening every day. He keeps messing up the entire situation. Advocate Mnisi raised a strong objection about those questionable Capitec bank statements, pointing out that the account opening date does not match the alleged transaction. Baloyi fired back with a line that left everyone stunned, Gesanalam. He said, and I continuously quote him, the date issue is neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that the accused admitted having a Capitec account, and I'm not interested in dates. I'm interested in transactions. That was Baloyi, guys. That was Baloyi, guys. And he did not care about the problem because dates are everything in evidence. If the account was opened in 2007, according to him, and he stands by that, guys, he stood by it. The date tells us whether the account even existed at the time, whether the transaction could have taken place, and whether the document in question is even authentic. So when Baloyi says the dates don't matter, what he's really doing is asking the court to ignore context, and that's very dangerous, guys. That's very dangerous. Evidence without verified dates is like story without a timeline. It can be twisted to fit any narrative that Baloyi wants. By dismissing the importance of dates, Baloyi is deflecting from a factual weakness in his own case. It's classic redirecting or tactic, focusing on what the accused allegedly said, not on whether the evidence itself is valid or not. I cannot believe Baloyi. I cannot believe him, guys. I cannot believe him. Sure. Anyway, guys, when it comes to you, what are your thoughts? Because I'm still shocked by Uncle Baloyi. I am shocked. Please make sure you do not forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, watch the videos up until the end. And please make sure you are joining the channel, support the channel by all means necessary that you know how to. Please watch as much as you can, share with so many people. Things are happening in the Senzomiwa case. What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk in the comment section. Thank you so much. I'll see you on our next video. Bye-bye.